Hello, and welcome to episode 208 of the Quiet and Strong podcast, especially for introverts. I'm your host, David Hall, and the creator of quietandstrong.com. This is a weekly podcast dedicated to understanding the strengths and needs of introverts, along with strategies for success. Introversion isn't something to fix, but to be embraced. Normally, we'll air each episode on a Monday. Be sure to subscribe on your favorite platform, leave a review or a rating. That would mean a lot to me and also help others find the show. Tell a friend about the podcast and help get the word out there that introversion is a beautiful thing. So, how's your year going? As the year unfolds, it's important to ask yourself, how are you spending your precious time? What lights you up and fills you with purpose? Are you using your gifts and strengths to the fullest? These questions take on a unique significance for introverts, whose approach to time and energy and productivity will likely differ from an extrovert. And it's so important to keep that in mind that your approach as an introvert to life, your path is going to look different. You can be wildly successful, but the way to get there might look different, and that's okay. But that's why I do this podcast. There's no good or bad, right or wrong when it comes to introversion, extroversion. Just things can look different. Your path to success will look different. And when I first discovered and embraced that I was an introvert, my life was extremely busy. I had a full-time job. I ran a business with my wife on the side. I was raising three kids, and there was always too much to do and never enough time. And I was also, blogging about introversion. So I dove into books and did research about time management and productivity, but I found that there was something missing. Many of the resources I was using and reading didn't address the specific needs of introverts. And through this, I began to recognize that there are unique time management and productivity needs of introverts, needs that align with your strengths and goals. And this led me to write the first book, Minding Your Time, Time Management, Productivity, and Success, especially for introverts. And the book focuses on how introverts can align their lives with our natural tendencies to think deeply, connect meaningfully, and find some solitude. So let's talk about how this year is going. And as we talk about goals and time management, it's critical to identify our strengths. Introverts make up about half the population, but yeah, we're not all the same. We do share a tendency to turn inward into our world of ideas and imaginations more than not. But understanding your unique personality and how it complements those around you, you can better harness your strengths. And there's lots of ways to get to know your strengths. Something that was impactful for me was the Myers-Briggs type indicator. It was helpful for understanding my personality. For example, I'm an INTJ, and part of that means I'm an analytical, big picture oriented person. I'm organized. And it helped me understand those things. And also, of course, the I is for introverted. Somebody else might lead with empathy and have a gift for focusing on details. We all have different personalities, but it's important to get to know what our strengths are. And again, when it comes to strengths, it's not a good or bad. We just have different strengths. We complement each other, and it's important to understand that. And recognizing our strengths is that's the first step towards designing the life that supports our needs and amplifies our gifts. And there is a free Type Finder personality assessment on the Quiet and Strong website. And this free assessment will give you a brief report, including this four-letter Myers-Briggs code. So you can go to the Quiet and Strong website and look at the personality assessment tab if you're interested in diving into that further. So why is it important to understand your introversion for time management and productivity? What ways do we differ from extroverts? And we regularly bust on this show that introverts don't like people and are shy. As introverts, we value people and we need those meaningful relationships. It's also true that we need plenty of solitude and for lots of different reasons. There is a lot of talk about introverts need time to recharge after some social events, and that's true. However, recharge isn't the only solitude that we need. And I think that's misunderstood sometimes too. So I've laid out some different reasons that we need time alone. Again, we absolutely we love our family, friends, but there's some things that we do need some alone time for in order to thrive as an introvert. We need to, as in part of our time management strategy, we need to intentionally carve out time for many things. So, recharge, that's true. So, let's start with that. We require time alone to replenish energy. And this need is often oversimplified as introverts recharge alone, but it's more nuanced than that. The key is to identify what drains you. Maybe it's small talk or rapid fire conversations or overstimulation. And then balance it with activities that restore your energy. And I also say that I I don't find that all people drain me all the time. Sure, there are situations and people that may be draining and I need to recharge, but it's too simplistic to say I'm recharged or I'm I'm drained by all people and I need to recharge alone. So figure out what drains you and then what restores you. And as introverts, as people, we need recreation. We need fun and relaxation. And introverts need both social and solo recreation to thrive. Maybe sometimes you take a hike alone. Maybe sometimes you take a hike with a friend or a couple close friends. Understanding what things bring you joy is vital. The key question is, what brings you joy? Of course, as part of relationships, there's always going to be give and take on things that we do together. Just don't let anyone tell you what you have to think is fun or enjoy. You know that and do that. Again, sometimes you're going to do things that somebody else you care about enjoys, but just keep in mind that you get to decide what you think is fun. We often need time to think. Introverts are natural deep thinkers. Dedicate time in your schedule to reflect, to process, to generate ideas. When is that? Early morning, quiet evenings, blocked off time at work can serve as sacred time for introspection. And along with that, we need to take some time to plan. Productivity begins with a plan. Regularly take time to prioritize your goals, map out actions, and prepare for upcoming tasks. And a big part of introvert success is preparation. We're deep thinkers, and often we need time to think about things. And we excel when we have time to prepare, whether it's a meeting, a presentation, a networking event, even some conversations. Advanced preparation allows us to bring our best ideas to the table. And we're going to do our best preparation, but give yourself a break. Sometimes you may still need to ask, "Hey, give me some time to think about that." And sometimes if you have an expertise and you're talking about your expertise, like me in introversion, you may not need time to prepare as much. You may already be prepared. And then we also need to take time to focus. Quiet, uninterrupted time is essential for concentration to get some types of work done. Schedule focused time to minimize distractions to ensure you're making meaningful progress. And it depends on the task at hand. If you need quiet or or if you need to get together with other people. But think about the kind of work that you do and consider those tasks that really you need focus and concentration and set aside some time for that. And also, we need some solitude to dream. Our imaginations as introverts, it's one of our greatest strengths and one of our greatest assets. Set aside some time to dream, to brainstorm, to envision new possibilities. Our creativity flourishes when we allow space for it. And sometimes just do some dreaming for fun. And being productive as an introvert isn't about just checking off endless to do lists. It's about aligning your time and energy with your values and goals. And this requires recognizing what drains you, what energizes you, advocating for your needs, and structuring your day to support your natural rhythms. For example, After recording a podcast episode, I always schedule some downtime to recharge. And, sometimes I may really need it, sometimes not so much. It just depends. But in the case of podcasting, I do leave myself an hour afterward for that recharge. Or maybe after a high stakes meeting, I might need to shift to some solo tasks that allow me to regain my focus and recharge. Just keep in mind you can make small adjustments that make a big difference in maintaining balance and effectiveness. And ultimately, productivity for introverts is about designing a life that respects your need for solitude, creativity, and connection. And embracing your introverted nature and advocating for your needs, you can make meaningful progress towards your goals without compromising your well being. Remember, your quiet, thoughtful approach to life is a strength. Be proud of it, lean into it, and watch as it helps you achieve success in your unique way. Your approach to life may be different from your extroverted colleague or partner, but that doesn't make that that doesn't make it any less valid. So how are you spending your time as an introvert? For introverts, taking time to reflect on your goals isn't just helpful, it's essential. Our strengths as deep thinkers mean we thrive when we create intentional space to step back, assess our progress, and realign with our priorities. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, these practices can easily get overlooked. So to stay on track, schedule regular interval schedule schedule regular intervals for self-reflection. Consider these practices. Do weekly check-ins with yourself. Set aside an amount of time, maybe 30 minutes at the end of each week, to reflect on your accomplishments, challenges, progress. Ask yourself, am I using my time to focus on what matters most? Review your calendar for the next week and make some tweaks or make some new plans. When do you need some quiet time to think and focus? When will you plan some time to recharge? Also, typically the beginning of the year where people are thinking about their goals, but we need to do it more often. So I like to think of things in the weekly review that we just discussed, and then do a little deeper dive as a monthly review. Block off maybe an hour each month to assess your long-term goals. Are you making meaningful progress? If not, what adjustments can you make? And then even do a deeper dive. Maybe it's quarterly. This interval is going to depend on you, but definitely once a year is not enough. Treat yourself to a mini retreat. Again, maybe every quarter or whatever interval works for you, and find a quiet space where you can disconnect from distractions and evaluate the bigger picture. Reflect on where you've been, where you are, and where you want to go. And these regular intervals allow you to course correct, calibrate your wins, or celebrate your wins, and ensure that you're aligning your time with your values and goals. Introverts naturally excel at introspection. I say it's one of our superpowers, but this strength becomes even more powerful when it's combined with a consistent habit of reflection. Think of these reflection times as regular tune-ups for your life. They help you ensure that your energies are being spent in alignment with what really matters to you. And as you're developing new habits, set a regular schedule, add reflection times to your calendar, and add them as non-negotiable appointments. Ask meaningful questions of yourself. What's working well? What's draining me? What adjustments can I make to align with my goals? And as we said, celebrate those wins. Use time to acknowledge your progress and honor the steps you've taken towards your dreams. And I've also heard it said many times to make a place to record these wins. And that will keep you on track and keep your confidence at a high level that you have accomplished things and you're going to continue to accomplish more things. So, as you're reflecting on your goals, consider your roles and the projects that you're working on. We all wear many hats in life. You may be a parent, a professional, a partner, a creative, a mentor, a friend. Each of these roles comes with its own responsibilities and opportunities for growth. Introverts, with their thoughtful and intentional nature, are uniquely suited to consider how roles align with their values and long term aspirations. Often, there are many more things that we want to do, but we can't do everything. So we need to be strategic about how we spend our time. So take time to reflect on your roles by asking yourself, what are my most important roles right now? Am I giving enough attention to each role, or is one area dominating my energy? Do I feel fulfilled in these roles, or is something missing? Are there roles that I've taken on that no longer serve me or align with my values? By looking at your roles, you can gain clarity about what to focus your time and energy on. This clarity helps you align your goals with what truly matters. And what about your projects? Reflecting on your projects can help you assess whether they're aligned with your priorities or if they need to be adjusted. Are my current project aligned with my long-term goals and values? Which projects energize me and which ones drain me? And of course, some projects you may assign to yourself, some may be assigned to you. But think about, is this something I want to keep doing? Or if it's assigned to you, is there a better way to do this? Or is there somebody better for this if it's not me? Am I making progress or am I stuck? If you're stuck, what resources do you need? What roles or projects feel out of alignment with my values? How can I make an adjustment? What's one thing I can do better to honor my priorities in this coming week, month, quarter? What does success look like for each of my roles? Am I a good father? Am I a good business leader? Things like that. How do I want to grow in my current projects? What are my next steps? So introverts naturally excel at introspection. Like I said, it's a superpower, but it's essential to make reflection a regular habit rather than something that happens only when life feels out of balance. Definitely been there. But can we be more proactive with it? By consistently carving out time for deep thought, you can stay aligned with your goals and avoid being burned out. When you take time to reflect on your goals and projects, you're not just managing tasks, you're creating a life that feels aligned, purposeful, and deeply satisfying. Introverts thrive in environments where they can focus their energy on what truly matters. Regular reflection allows you to ensure that your goals, roles, and projects stay in harmony, helping you make progress in a way that feels authentic and sustainable. Remember, reflection isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about stepping back, recalibrating, and ensuring that your time and energy are being spent on what matters most. And also just keep in mind, our approach as introverts to life and success may look different. So as you're approaching being productive, using your time well, there's going to be some introverted needs that are different from your extroverted friend. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I hope you take the time to explore other episodes and learn from some amazing guests. And remember, if you're interested in getting to know yourself better, there's a free Type Finder personality assessment on the Quiet and Strong website. This assessment will give you a brief report, including the four-letter Myers-Briggs code. I will add a link to the show notes. And I'd love to connect with you. Reach out at david@quietandstrong.com or check out the quietandstrong.com website, which includes blog posts and links to social media for Quiet and Strong and much more. Send me topics or guests you'd like to see on the show. There's so many great things about being an introvert, and we need those things to be understood. Get to know your introverted strengths and needs and be strong.